You're listening to the Magnetic Boss Podcast. I'm your host, Calandra Martin, intuitive brand designer for spiritual entrepreneurs. The Magnetic Boss Podcast is where visionaries come together to openly share wisdom and authentic conversations. I know that you are ready to leave your legacy in the world and become sought out in your industry. I also know that you are sick and tired of getting overlooked. You're ready to have a magnetic business. I'm here to help you create your magnetic brand. It's my mission to help you show up confidently with a professional, irresistible online presence. If you're in this for the long game and all in on the big vision you have for your business, let's dive in. Something that you should know about me is that I take a no BS approach to coaching and supporting my clients. And sometimes that can look like unsolicited advice in my real life, in my day-to-day, and I have always been this way. But I also recognize the magic in that and the power in that when I'm in my role as your coach, as the person who can reflect back to you what I am seeing, where I am seeing you holding yourself back, where you have oversights on things that you could be doing or feeling into in your business that are going to allow you to tap into your full potential. And sometimes that is scary. Sometimes that is uncomfortable. One thing that I love about entrepreneurship and working with women in business, especially midlife women, is that we are always being challenged to step outside of our comfort zones, and the women that I support are eager to do so, even if it feels a little scary, even if it is uncharted territory or maybe unfamiliar, because we know, and if you have any level of success in your life, in your business, in your career, when you do the uncomfortable thing, the success is inevitable, the growth is inevitable, and even if it is baby steps, even if it is the tiny needle movers, that compounds over time. And the better it gets, when you are able to be shown and to see fully for yourself your potential and the way that you can do things in an intentional way, the easier it gets to be. And I think we overcomplicate so many things when it comes to growing a business and getting visible online. And when I work closely with the women that I support, I'm seeing these gaps over and over again. I'm seeing these blind spots over and over again. And one example I can share that came up in our monthly circle recently was a woman who was sharing with me who her ideal audience is, who her ideal client is, and how she has recognized that she loves working with women who are entrepreneurs, who are successful, and how she doesn't like to work with the average person because they have, more often than not, a limited mindset. They don't have that drive or ambition that women entrepreneurs do have, and that's just in our blood, right? That runs through our veins, and it's a deep soul-led characteristic, is that we are always wanting more and ready to step into doing more because we can't not. And so I asked this woman who was on this call, that's amazing that you know who you desire to work with, and how are you speaking to them? Are you speaking to them in your marketing, in your messaging, on your website? You know, it's like one of those things where I don't want to call people out, but I do. Because quite frankly, I will never tell you that something looks great if it doesn't. And I will never tell you that I think you're doing a great job if I think you could be doing better. Yes, recognition for showing up. Yes, I am so proud of you for doing the damn thing. And how can we do it better? How can we optimize? How can we pivot and refine your positioning and make your brand an obvious first choice? And this woman in particular, I know, is coming up against so much resistance in selling in her business and filling her events and filling her programs because it isn't clear to the rest of the world what she does. It isn't clear to the rest of the world her brilliance. The people that know her, the people that trust her, her past clients, her inner circle, of course, they know that she's amazing. But quite frankly, that isn't being translated in the online space. It isn't being translated in her branding. There are pieces that are disjointed. She has this energy on the back end of her business that is scattered, or it feels like she is scrambling and trying to balance her real life day to day and her in-person aspect of her business with the online aspect of her business, and there's a disconnect. And it's not because she's not great at what she does. It's because of the lack of clarity and intention behind what she is doing in her day-to-day. And that's where I love to step in and wave the white flag and say, hey, over here, let's look at this. Let's hone in on that. This is what I am seeing. This is the gap. How can we create a bridge between what you think and your vision into something that's tangible that people can see and understand? That is the power of marketing and brand positioning and building authority. Because the more that you do that over time, the more success you create. And that is the foundation of building a sustainable brand and building a wealthy business and creating the legacy that you are here to leave on the world. When I launched Magnetic Midlife, my coaching container for women in business, it wasn't so much about creating quick wins or stepping into this idea that we have to be leading with vanity metrics. It has to do with the idea that you are in this for the long haul. This is something that is soul-led, that you are passionate about and you want to be bringing visibility to. And what I love being able to help women do, especially midlife women, women 50 plus, is to take their experience and their stories and their expertise and reflect that through their business. Because I'm pretty sick and tired, to be completely honest, of watching women holding back on their magic because they don't have the know-how or they don't have the perspective in their business because they're too busy doing and being in their day-to-day and grasping at straws and chasing curiosities. And I think it's amazing to always be learning and to always be looking at different ways to do things in your business. But if you don't have the foundation, everything that you build your brand upon will crumble. And that is why it is so important to step outside of the ideas and the platforms and the content and the strategy and the endless opinions about what you should be doing, and to really get laser focused on how you want to feel in your business and how you can step into your vision without being overwhelmed, without being burnt out, and instead really leading with a business that feels good and allows you to be in your zone of genius. Because it's not up to you as a business owner to be the marketing expert. Is it something you have to do in your business? Yes. But to have support, to have somebody as your right hand to say, hey, here's where I'm seeing you missing the mark. Here's where we could do better. Here's how we can refine. That is what I love to be able to support women in doing. And I think that it's important to give ourselves an audit from time to time and to call ourselves out of like, hey, I've been in this pattern for a really long time and what I'm doing isn't working. Or it's working, but it's not gaining the momentum that I want it to. And to be able to boldly claim what you want in your life, what you want in your business. Not someday, not when you figure it all out, but right now, turning your ideas into something tangible, crafting your expertise in a way that becomes a signature offer and a brand that people instantly recognize and trust. And really in this season in my business, that's the role that I am here for. To be the person who calls you out, to be the person that lovingly tells you that everything that you've lived and learned and mastered needs to be seen. Even if the visibility is scary, even if there are things that you have to figure out along the way. But at the heart of it, at the soul of it, your purpose, the reason that you are showing up in your business in the first place, gets to take the front seat, gets to actually help the people that you're here to help. And when you can turn your brand into something cohesive and meaningful, it will become profitable, beyond profitable, and your life and every area of your life gets to feel wealthy and abundant. And that's the work that I'm here to do. So that's my rant for today. I hope it serves you in some way. If you are ready to create freedom in your life, in your business, if you're wanting to build something meaningful that creates wealth in all areas, if you are ready to leave a legacy with your soul's work, and you want to feel aligned in this season of your life while attracting the clients that you really, truly value and that value you, and to feel good about being in your business in the day-to-day. And if you're stepping into this era, this version of yourself and your business where you're doing bigger, better things, but you just need the clarity, the visibility, the strategy, someone to help you bring it to life in such a grounded, intentional, and holistic way, let's have a conversation. Magnetic Midlife may be the best fit for you in your business. This is a 6-month coaching container where we are going through my 6 phases of alignment, creating your signature offer, building visibility, building authority, adding structure, and ultimately stepping into your legacy. If that speaks to you, enrollment is open, and I would love to see your application come in. And in the meantime, just remind yourself today that you can't see the view from the top of the mountain in the depths of the forest. Sometimes you have to zoom out, or you need a different perspective to have clarity on the full picture and that next step. So that is my reminder for you today. I hope it serves you, and I will share more with you real soon.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe wherever you are listening so you never miss a beat. For episode show notes, visit calandramartin.com/podcast. Your iTunes reviews and your sharing of the show helps us reach more magnetic bosses just like you. Until next time.